Let's talk about preparation for performance appraisal. Like we've mentioned, performance appraisal is at the core of the efficiency of every team, every employee, and the overall efficiency of the organization. As a result, you cannot afford to go into performance appraisal unprepared. However, what are some of the things you need to do in order to be effectively prepared for performance appraisal? Number one is reviewing relevant documents. Now, a day, 2 days, a week to your performance appraiser, it's expected for you to review the job description for every role. Now, we do have a series where we talk about role creation and developing job descriptions and all that. We had a session where we spoke about reviewing job descriptions, and we mentioned that on a routine basis, you're supposed to be reviewing your job description. Now, when it comes to performance appraisal, before you appraise someone, it is expected that you should be able to review the job description of the person. I have witnessed a situation where somebody was appraised. The metrics that were used to appraise the person were not part of the person's job description. Now, this happens because sometimes we hire external firms, professionals and consultants to come and run performance appraisals for us. And those people come into our organizations not really knowing who is who. And, at the end of the day, we end up with a report that is not a reflection of what is achievable or what is on ground, because they have not been able to understand what everybody in that organization was actually positioned to achieve. So whether you are coming in as an external consultant into an organization to run performance appraisal, or you are a staff, an HR manager in an organization entrusted with performance appraisal, you need to understand that it is not just the fate of the employees that are at stake, that the future of the organization is also at stake. The future of your job or your contract is also at stake. And that ensuring that the appraiser is efficient does not begin from sending out forms and sending out inquiries and calling people for interviews and interacting with people. No, it begins with reviewing relevant documents such as the job description, such as the KPIs, previous goals, and previous appraiser reports. Then secondly is actual performance and expected performance. The heart of every appraiser is the performance, and there are two layers to the performance. We have the expected performance and the actual performance. Now, it therefore becomes very, very important for you to open up yourself to look at the actual performance and look at the expected performance and make comparison. This again requires you to have some hard facts in front of you. So you need to gather the facts, you need to gather the informations that tells you what the actual performance is and what the expected performance should be. The next is getting relevant information. It is not enough to rely on paperwork to carry out performance review or performance appraisal. You need to also find out opinions of colleagues about a particular staff that you are appraising. You need to get feedback from customers, and then you also need to get feedback from supervisors. This information you will collect helps to provide you with a broader context rather than what is on paper, because there are so many things that you will not find in black and white, especially when it comes to appraisers. The things that you find in black and white are the things that people want to be in black and white. There are things that people don't want in print. And because they don't want it in print, they avoid putting it in print. Whereas to ensure, to guarantee an effective appraisal, you also need those things that are not in print. That is why gathering relevant informations by interviewing, by speaking with colleagues, speaking with supervisors, and speaking with customers also is very, very important. Then fourth is utilizing employee self-assessment. You need to, within a modern performance appraiser, we have two layers of performance appraiser. The first layer is the self-assessment, where the employee themselves conduct the entire performance appraiser themselves. They fill out all the forms and assess themselves using their own personal judgment. So you need to make sure that in your performance appraiser, you also introduce the use of self-performance appraiser. Then once you have concluded the self-appraisers, then the organization or the team conducting the appraiser can now go on to conduct their own performance appraisers. We involve gathering evidence, many of which will be supplied in reports, in other documentations, from your informations that you gather from other sources like the supervisor, the customer, and colleagues, and also from the self-assessment provided by the employees. At this point, it is important to also avoid what? Assumptions, because performance appraisal is not about assumption. It's not about projection. It is about what is on ground, what has happened, and how what has happened happened. It is not about assumption. This is not a plan you are writing. This is an appraisal of what has already taken place. So there is no room for assumptions. Lastly is drafting a development plan. At the end of the performance appraisal, you are going to prepare a report, and in that report, you are supposed to come up with a suggestion, a way forward, what needs to be strengthened, what needs to be encouraged, what needs to be fastened. So it is important that you have that at the back of your mind in the entire process, and that you prepare to be able to put together a development report, especially when underperformance exists. Every successful performance appraiser begins long before the appraisal itself begins. Thank you very much for watching this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.